Need to prepare the raisins, and for that we're going to soak them in water overnight. So next we're going to be making the dough, and for that first I have here 1 pack of dry instant yeast, and to that I'm going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm adding about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm just lightly mixing everything together, trying not to get to the bottom of the bowl where I have the yeast. And then to this I'm going to add 1/2 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of water that I've just warmed up a little bit. You don't want them to be too hot, otherwise it's going to kill the yeast. So I'm just mixing everything up together with my fingers, you can see. Okay, so at this point I'm going to add 1 beaten egg that I have right here, and just continue mixing everything together. From this sticky mess we need to work the dough until it's a little bit smoother. So don't hesitate to add a little bit of flour, and just going to gently knead it until it's a little less sticky. So I have been kneading the dough for about, I don't know, 5 minutes I'd say, and as you can see it's completely smooth now. You will notice as you're kneading your dough it's gonna get stickier, so don't just keep sprinkling the flour, and just little at a time until you get the right consistency. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a clean bowl. So I have greased my bowl with a little bit of vegetable oil, just a tiny bit, and I'm just going to place the dough in there, and just try to coat the surface with oil as well so it doesn't dry up on you. And so this is I'm going to let it rise for about an hour. So next I'm going to prepare the butter, and for this stage you want it to be soft and like room temperature so that you can shape it into whatever you want. And so as you can see I'm just pressing it with my fingers and shaping it into a rectangle. So this is going to go in the fridge just to harden so we can be able to work with it while the dough is rising. So it's been about an hour and a half, and as you can see the dough has doubled in size. So now we're going to start incorporating the butter. On a lightly floured surface I'm just going to place my dough and punch to remove all the air that's inside. So I've just punched the dough a little bit to remove the air that's trapped, and I'm just trying to spread it a little bit so we can place down the butter that I've just took out of the fridge. It's hard enough to work with. So you could have incorporated the butter with the dough earlier and just mix everything together, but I rather do it this way. It makes the dough flakier and just the pastry overall better, in my opinion. Just going to place the butter in the middle here and just bring all the edges over it, just like so. Spreading it out. So I fold the dough a double fold, I think it's called, or 1.5. I'm going to wrap it in a plastic wrap and place it in the fridge for 30 minutes, and then we're going to fold it again, and in total we need to fold it 6 times. So 1.5 down, 4.5 more to go. So the raisins have been soaking for 24 hours, and as you can see, they've puffed up, and now they're a lot smoother to work with. So I'm just going to drain them and rinse them and then dry them really well before we use them. Okay, so the dough has been in the fridge overnight, And now we're just going to try and roll it out as thin as possible and as big as possible into a rectangle. Like so. And a little bit on the rolling pin as well. And I'm just going to slowly work it into a big rectangle. Alright, so I've rolled the dough to as big of a rectangle as I could. And now I'm just placing the pastry cream that I've just made. I've filmed it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to post it together with this recipe or a separate one. I just don't want this one to be too long, so we'll see. And this pastry cream is so good. It could be a dessert on its own, I promise. I had to force myself to stop tasting it. Anyways, so we're going to need a thin layer of this. On top of the pastry cream, I'm just going to spread the raisins. You can use as much or as little raisins as you'd like. But of course, it's all about the raisins in this pastry, so I'm putting plenty of raisins. And I'm using golden raisins. You can use the black ones, whichever you prefer. What to do is start from the top here, as you can see, roll it on itself, and then keep rolling. Alright. And at the very end here, just so that it sticks on the other end, I'm just going to brush it with a little egg wash. And here I used 1 egg yolk and about 2 tablespoons of milk instead of water. Brush that out and then finish rolling, and that should help it stick. Okay. So move over here so you guys can have a better shot at what I'm doing. So that's it. I'm just going to cut the rolls out now. So as you can see, I'm just making about an inch thick roll and placing them onto my baking sheet, because these are going to need to rise before we bake them. So just like so. So the pain au raisin have been rising here for about an hour, and I have preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and now I'm just going to gently brush over them with the egg wash we've used earlier. I preserved it, and I'm just going over all of them with the egg wash before we put them in the oven for about 12 minutes to cook.